Joining us now on the Menard Studio Hotline, Dylan Larkin. Dylan from the Michigan area, but Dylan, your mom and dad have some ties here to the Evansville area. We appreciate the time today. Let me give a quick recap for people that maybe aren't familiar with your story. Your mom's originally from the Evansville area. Your dad, originally from Toronto, Canada, if I'm not mistaken, came here, played college soccer at USI, where he was an all-region, all-GLVC. He was a team captain in the mid to late 80s, from 85 to, I believe, 87, 88, somewhere in that neighborhood. Did some coaching for the USI men's soccer team while he was here, and then transferred and did some coaching for the Wrights High School girls team for a number of years. Moved on to North High School, where he coached their girls soccer team for a little bit. And then, is that when they moved up to Michigan?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's where we stand. So you're not necessarily an Evansville native, but Mom is, and you guys make your way back home every once in a while, right?
Oh yeah, once a summer probably.
And when you come to town, is there something? Have you been to Evansville enough to where when you know that it's time to come home and visit some family, is there something you got to do when you come to Evansville? Is it you got to get to Toroni's, Pizza King, got to have a ski, got to have some Grippos, something along those lines? Have you found those things yet?
Not really, but usually we play some golf and just hang out with family.
Well, next time you come to town, swing by. I'll get you a ski and a box of Grippos, send you home with you.
Hey, look, the dude's playing pro hockey. He doesn't need the stuff that makes us look like we do, all right?
You'll never be the same, I promise. Ski and Grippos and you're set, and you're all good to go. Maybe a double cola if you want. Tell us a little bit how, because I know your dad was involved in, to some degree, bringing hockey to Swander Ice Arena. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be, since he's got a soccer background. How did he get into hockey?
Yeah, well, obviously he's from Toronto, a big hockey hotbed, and played as a kid. He played juniors until he was 19, and then had a career-ending injury, and then kind of missed his chance to get a college scholarship, and then he started playing soccer again, and I think he was a 24-year-old freshman at USI, so it took him a little while to kind of get back into soccer, obviously with the knee injury, and just found his way down. I think his friends from Toronto were all on the USI soccer team, so when they were seniors, they told the coach they had a friend back in Toronto that's pretty good, and they should take a look at him, so they kind of brought him down.
Dylan Larkin, our guest on the Menard Studio Hotline. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 1053, and online, ESPNEvansville.com. Dylan, the 15th overall pick in the 2014 NHL Draft, and will be playing, signed your entry-level contract with the Detroit Red Wings last week. Again, Dylan's mom, Denise, from the Evansville area. Dad, Kevin, played some soccer at USI back in the mid to late 80s, did some coaching here with Wrights and North. And when how long have you been playing hockey?
Probably 15 years.
And you're not even 19 yet, so let's put that in perspective. This young man is 18 years old, Ryan. He won't be 19 till the end of July. Been playing hockey for 15 years. Means he's 3.
Yeah.
When he hit the ice.
Was this something that Dad got you involved in, or is it something you kind of picked up on your own and thought, I want to give that a shot? I know it's hard to say when you're 3 years old, and maybe you can't really think for yourself, but how did we get started in hockey, and what drew you to the sport?
It was my older brother and my older cousin. My older brother's 2 years older, and my older cousin's just a year older. So they were playing, I guess, when I was a baby, and I guess I just took off on my brother's rollerblades one day and never looked back.
You couldn't just let your brother have one thing, could you? You had to ride his coattails. Is that? I've got 2 kids. I know how that works. The one does one thing, and the other one wants to do it too, and they can't ever have anything on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about your playing career up until your drafting, being drafted by the Red Wings. You college hockey, semi-pro, amateur hockey. What kind of leagues have you played in up until this point?
Yeah, I just played growing up locally. I played with my older cousin. I played a year up and played around Metro Detroit area. And then when I was a little bit older, I played AAA. played for Bell Tire all the way up to midget minor, and then I was fortunate enough to play for the United States national team for my U17 and U18 year, and that was a great experience. And then I got a college scholarship to play at Michigan, so that kind of brought me to now where I signed a pro contract and playing for the Grand Rapids Griffins right now.
Well, you say that like it's just another walk in the park, but it's pretty impressive, my friend. You failed to mention you got a gold medal in the U18 Worlds. That was in Finland, too, by the way. It wasn't like just outside of Detroit.
Yeah.
You got a bronze in the 2015 Worlds in the Czech Republic, and that was playing with and against NHL players. So your one season at University of Michigan, you were second-team All-American. That's as a freshman. Big Ten All-Rookie team, Big Ten first-team All-Big Ten, Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten, led the Big Ten in freshman points. I'll brag for you. You don't have to. But now you go with the Grand Rapids Griffins. You're just 2 games into that, and you already got 2 goals. You got 2 goals in last night's game, if I'm not mistaken, your first 2 goals at that level. How's that feel for you? And was there, outside of last night, your first couple of professional goals, are there some goals that were really special to you?
Yeah, like you mentioned that U18 gold in Finland. I spent 2 years with those guys, and to win it all at the end of our 2 years was real special. And then, it's probably to score my first professional goal would be a lifelong memory. Last night was a pretty special night for me and my family. I got a lot of texts and congratulations, and it meant a lot.
You play again tonight, or you got the night off?
We had the night off. We're back at it Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Dylan Larkin, our guest on the Menard Studio Hotline. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 105.3, and online, ESPNEvansville.com. Now, I know you just signed your entry-level contract with the Red Wings, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to strap on some skates and put on a Red Wings jersey. There's, like you said, you're playing with the Grand Rapids Griffins right now. Is there a time frame for when you might find your way at the show, as they call it? That's up to the coaches now. I'm in the system, and just got to work as hard as possible because everyone wants to get there, and there's 25 guys here in Grand Rapids that want to be in there. So just got to come into camp next summer and put forward a good effort.
Just to be nosy, how many of those 25 guys went in the top 15 sitting in Philadelphia? How many of those were on the floor?
I don't think any.
Well, then that may mean you might be the front runner in those 25 then, my friend. The Grand Rapids Griffins are in the AHL. You've played around in different leagues, like you say, the amateur leagues and things like this. Your Uncle Ben's the one that set all this up. Ben's our chief IT guy, the one that just tells you when you say something's not working, he says, move. That's what he does all day. But you've got a lot of uncles, cousins, a family that's very athletic, especially on the ice. Does that make it a little easier for you that your brother Colin, he's played for the NAHL Michigan Warriors. He's played around a little bit. You got a cousin that's played in the NAHL. You've got family that's been at the minor league level. You may be the first one to take it to the show, as they say, but does that make it easier for you in the life it is to get to that level because you've had some siblings and people close to you that have been at that level?
Yeah, for sure. With my 2 cousins and brother, we all play, pretty high level hockey. So when we support each other pretty well. We always text and talk over the phone throughout the year. So it's real helpful to have them, and of course all my uncles and aunts give great advice. Uncle Ben and my Uncle Brian in Evansville and Aunt Leanne. So they're real supportive and make it pretty easy on me.
Dylan Larkin, our guest on the Menard Studio Hotline. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 105.3 and online, ESPNEvansville.com. When you make the decision, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not 100% sure exactly how it works, when you make that decision that you're going to give it a go and you're going to enter the NHL draft, I know there is a combine that they run you through, much like the NFL does as well. Can you recall any odd questions? What kind of questions do they ask in the NHL Combine to kind of get a base idea of what kind of person you are?
Yeah, I mean, there's some weird ones. That was last spring, so it's kind of tough to remember. But you get all the questions like what color are your eyes and what's your favorite ice cream and just stuff that has nothing to do with hockey. So try to throw you off a little bit.
Well, let's go through the day when you got selected, 15th overall. Take us through that time. Like, did you get a call from the Red Wings ahead of time that said before your name was announced, or was it just you sat there, you're in the crowd in Philadelphia, you think you're going to go in the first round, you're not 100% sure. Take us through that moment when the commissioner steps up there and says, with the 15th pick in the NHL draft, the Detroit Red Wings select Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a little bit of an idea I was gonna go in the first round, and I met with Anaheim the day of the draft, and they seemed pretty interested, and they were picking at 10. And so when they were picking at 10, I was really nervous, like, pretty sweaty, and it was getting pretty hot, and they ended up not taking me. And then every pick from then, I was just hoping to get to Detroit. And then when it finally did, I had a good feeling, and it was an unbelievable moment to hear my name called.
Well, you go top 15. Obviously, you can skate. I mean, there's no question in that. But one of the things for a lot of people that maybe don't know a lot about hockey, including myself, to be honest. I mean, I'm a Southern Indiana boy. I'm a little older too. There weren't any hockey leagues around really that I can remember. If there were, I wasn't interested in it. I can't stand up on roller skates, let alone ice skates. But you're known for playing well on both sides. Now, usually, I did have an old friend, Craig Ludwig, that played for the Dallas Stars for years, who, Craig, I think, had one goal in his career, but he was a headhunter. All he did was hunt people down. That was his job. He was a defensive player. That was it. Kind of explain to us what that means in hockey, that you're good on both sides. Does that just mean you're going to hurt me as well as score on me, or what's that mean?
No, it means, you're going to keep the puck out of your net, and you're going to go down and score on the other net. You're responsible in your own end, and the coach can trust you. And you might play against the other team's best player and try and shut them down, and that's something I challenge myself with and accept for kind of helps the team.
Injuries are always part of the game, and you had one a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You broke your ankle, out for 5 months. And that was at a time that the NHL was looking at you. First off, do you think you could have went a little higher even in the draft if it wasn't for that injury? And secondly, you've recovered from that. You're back. You're ready to rock and roll. How do you do that as an athlete? How do you get past that, especially when ankles – I'm no brain surgeon, but it takes some pretty strong ankles to stand up on ice skates. So how do you get past that mentally and physically?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously sitting on the couch for 5 months is pretty tough, and you lose strength in your legs. So I think that was the biggest challenge. Sitting on the couch, and I had to re-strengthen all the muscles, and it took some time coming back from an injury like that. But I came back, and I had a burning passion, like a love for the game, and I wanted to be back and get better, and I just kind of appreciated it more.
Dylan Larkin, our guest, his mom Denise from the Evansville area. Dad played soccer at USI. Back in the late 80s, coached the Wrights High School girls team and the North High School girls team after his college career ended. joining us on the Menard Studio Hotline. Now, the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on. I'm sure you've had an opportunity to keep a pretty close eye on that with the 4 teams remaining. You've got Anaheim, who you mentioned had some interest in possibly taking you there 10th overall. Blackhawks are there, the Rangers, the Lightning. Who do you like to make it into the finals?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's up to anyone. I'm kind of pulling for Tampa Bay a little bit in the East. Big fan of Steve Yzerman and that Tyler Johnson's a heck of a player. So it's good to see a new team and I think Anaheim has a pretty strong team this year. They're so big and physical, so it'd be tough to beat them 2 times in a row for Chicago here.
You got drafted by your hometown team. That doesn't happen a lot. So we know you're a Red Wings fan. If you're not,
something's not right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask you that one. But they didn't have the season that they're kind of used to there. But next season, what's it look like? What's kind of the chatter that you're hearing? Because obviously over there in Grand Rapids, that you're hearing everything you need to hear about what's going on in Detroit. So what's it sound like for next season?
I mean, I think next season will be, just as good or better. You look at their playoff series with Tampa Bay; they were 1 game away, and Tampa battled back, and now look at how far they've gone on a run. So, just one of those things that kind of happens, and I think their young players got a good experience in the playoffs with Tatar and Nyquist, and Mrazek was young and played well in the playoffs. So I think they'll be even stronger next year with the experience they gained in the playoffs.
That's Dylan Larkin, 15th overall pick in the 2014 NHL Draft by the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan, next time you come in town to visit family, stop by, and I'll get you a ski and some grippos, okay?
Sounds good.
You're going to fatten this kid up before it's over, aren't you?
You got to put some meat on the bones, You got to be able to,
for sure.
Check guys into the wall and whatnot. Appreciate the time, Dylan. Best of luck, and congratulations on signing with the Red Wings, and much success to you as you go along in your career.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, thanks, Dylan.
Take care. Thanks, Dylan.